Hello.
Hi.
First week of January.
New year.
More
New us.
movies.
Let's go.
Did you have fun watching the movies this week?
Yes, we had a good array of movies. We watched, what, five?
We watched five, yeah, and we got the Independent Spirit screeners.
True. We'll start on
So,
those.
had some opportunities there to watch some pretty cool
Some
things.
new interesting stuff.
Yeah, but I guess we can go ahead and get started
Jump right in.
with our first movie. We watched Together,
Yes.
starring Dave Franco and Allison Brie.
This has been on my radar for a long time. I was curious to see. I was thinking this was going to be a big body horror kind of movie from the trailers, you know.
Me too. I was almost expecting it to be gorier, honestly.
That's true.
Like, there's that scene with, what is it, the saw?
Yes.
And, they start sawing, but then they cut away, and I sat there and I said, no, show the whole
Show the whole thing. Yeah. No, I liked it. I think, well, Allison Brie and Dave Franco are actually married, right?
Yes.
For now. Them
I
Francos, we don't know.
I like them. I think it'll work out.
They seem to like each other. And they've been married for a while, haven't they?
I think so.
That's cool.
I think it was cool watching them in the horror genre. I'm not sure if they've ever done any horror movies, but I
No.
haven't seen them if they have.
I just know Allison Brie from Community, I think.
Yeah, I think of both of them as pretty comedic actors, honestly. So it was fun to watch them in this horror environment.
Dave Franco, star of that one season of Scrubs that we do not talk about. But no, he was good. Now, Dave Franco's character in that movie was a dumbass who was not good enough for Allison Brie. He did not appreciate their relationship at all.
Oh, absolutely. In that early scene when she got down on one knee to propose,
And they've been dating for like 10,
10
years.
years. Unless you've had a conversation that you don't want to get married, I feel like if you're not married 10 years in, it's probably not going to work out.
It seemed like they hadn't had an engagement or marriage talk at all,
No.
actually, which is a great sign for a relationship.
And it did feel like she did that very spur of the moment because it's not like she had a ring or anything.
No, both of them, when it came to it, get down on one knee and open up their hands like it's a ring container. It would have worked on me, though.
Yeah.
That was very cute. But yeah, you got to talk about that first. Don't pop the big question as a surprise that no one is expecting.
Especially at a party in front of a lot of people where the person feels pressured because he kind of paused and then was like, what? And then said, of course I'll marry you. But it became very obvious that they were not engaged after that because,
Yeah.
of course, she wasn't into it after that was his reaction.
You mean when she proposed to him in front of all their friends and he just kind of stood there and asked, "Are you joking?"
Yeah.
Followed by long pause, awkward silences, and she just kind of got back up and was like, "Okay then."
Yeah, I did feel bad for her there, even though you really got to have those conversations before you propose.
Yeah, they're both kind of at fault here. Don't buy a house and move to a remote area when you're together, and don't know if you actually even want to be married to one another.
I just think if he won't commit to marrying you, why would you want to go in on a big financial decision like having a house together, you know?
Desperation.
Because it seems like having the house and, of course, all the supernatural stuff going on seemed like she wanted out of that relationship at one point.
Well, I mean, I always forget the character's name, so it's just going to be Dave Franco and Allison Brie. Dave Franco was not the only one at fault here. This was a series of bad decisions, starting with let's spend the night in the cave that we just fell into.
Well, and then this guy, he says, oh, look, there's water here. I'm gonna drink it.
In this weird, like supernatural looking rock formation, I guess it was.
Do not drink the cave water.
You had a good bottle of wine and a bottle of water good to go. No, he
I'm
had to
gonna
go
drink the cave water.
man versus nature. It didn't work out. I don't think they really explained what the togetherness kind of thing was, other than had something in the water, maybe.
Oh, I think they did. Yeah, I think drinking the water and getting stuck in that cave kind of propelled this thing forward. But I felt like they didn't need to be stuck in the cave. They kind of crawled their way out the next morning.
Yeah.
So, the intelligence going on, I was questioning a little bit, especially drinking that cave water when you have a perfectly good bottle of wine right there. But it seemed like them being in this cave propelled the entity to kind of start doing the together stuff to them.
Yeah.
And the entity, I guess Zeus is real.
I guess they found the religion that's the right one because they start getting stuck together immediately,
Yeah.
which did
Yeah.
look painful.
Yeah, because the whole concept is like that thing out of mythology that's like everyone used to have two faces and four arms and legs, and then I guess Zeus got mad or something and he tore him in half, and then you gotta go and find your other half, and then
Harsh.
once you do, I guess you're a full person, because I guess you can't be a full person if you're single, question mark.
Yeah, kind of unclear. And I was kind of not sure. We had the like hikers who were missing through most of the movie. You see like the missing posters of them in the beginning of the movie and everything. We find them kind of like mostly fused together in the cave. But then at the end of the movie, Dave Franco and Alison Brie, spoilers, do fuse together to form like a new person. I was kind of lost on like why didn't the other missing folk fuse together? Were they fighting it
Well,
still?
yeah, I think the difference is that they were fighting it, but at the end of the movie, Alison Brie and Dave Franco made the choice that they were just going to be together, and then they fused into that person,
Ah,
just like the neighbor guy did with his husband.
yeah, yeah. As soon as I saw he had a bell for his, well, doorbell, I guess, suspicious immediately.
Oh, he was giving me suspicious vibes right off the bat.
He was just being a nice guy trying to bang Allison Brie as her coworker, of course.
Nah, that was a
Still,
misdirect. He wasn't trying to bang her.
still would have been better than Dave Franco, though. Just saying.
Yeah,
Or his character, Dave's fine.
Dave Franco was not treating her very well.
Exactly. That was
And
the point of, of
it
their
was.
relationship, but still.
I will say, it seemed like he was dealing with some PTSD that maybe he hadn't gotten the help he needed
Oh
for.
yeah. What was with that? He kept on having like nightmares of some gremlin people, but
Well,
unrelated to the actual togetherness bug.
no, I think it ties into the theme of the movie about couples becoming enmeshed with each other to a point where it's hard to be autonomous human beings separate, because his parents, like his dad died in bed, and then his mom essentially went catatonic and wouldn't move the body.
Oh, I must have missed that explanation.
So all of those dreams he was having and the lady and everything, that was his mom,
Okay.
who had kind of snapped after the death of his dad because she didn't know what to do without her other half, essentially.
Okay. Yeah.
So his trauma did tie into the theme of the movie.
Got it. Yeah, I was lost on that at first, but that makes sense. I liked they didn't touch on it again, but it was the or not really, it was the chandelier scene where he's like, "What's that horrible smell in this new house?" Takes out the chandelier and it's this big like cluster of rats all tied together, which was either just a bunch of rats or maybe something from the I'm calling it the together bug.
You said it was a what, Rat King?
Yeah, a rat king is a rare natural phenomenon where multiple rats' tails become knotted and bound together,
Yeah, that's what was happening for sure.
which looks unpleasant.
And again, like with a ton of these horror movies, Things would have gone a lot better for these two if they had gotten an inspection.
Always get a house inspection. Would make a lot of horror franchises irrelevant if you just get a dang house inspection.
Even if the house is brand new, looks beautiful, always get a house inspection.
Check for ghosts in the walls, always.
Always. There was also a scene where Dave Franco showed up at Allison Brie's job. She's a school teacher.
That was funny.
For like little kids, like elementary or something.
Yeah.
Because I guess he's magnetically drawn to her because of the Zeus together creature
This
thing.
man is just going through a breakdown.
Yeah. And they go to have sex in the bathroom of the school while the children are playing outside. And I'm like, guys,
They're like 10 feet away from the playground.
you're going to get put on a list.
Yeah, you can't quite do that.
You can't do that.
I thought the prosthetics and the makeup and everything was done very well. I thought that was neat. The kind of togetherness bug that was drawing them together, where it's almost your body is physically being drawn towards, like if one of the other people is moving away, like when Alison Brie's driving away, Dave Franco in the shower is slamming up against the tile so hard.
It reminded me of Luca Guadagnino's Suspiria.
Yeah, I get
I
that.
thought that was cool.
Maybe took inspiration from that movie. Then I thought it was really cool. I think it was the scene Dave Franco's like in his office with the door shut, like the glass door. He sees Alison Brie like slam against it, and then he's taller than her, so as he like stands up, she moves up like off of her feet,
Yeah.
like levitating. I thought that was a really cool scene.
That was cool. And I liked, there was almost like some contortion work being done
lot,
as well. And I always think that's really cool.
When she bent over in half, that would have given me the best back crack, man.
I'll bend you
great.
in half. Don't worry.
Fair enough. But no, I thought the scenes where they were like showing their skin fused together was really neat.
Yeah.
Right at the end when it had the like hands moving through each other's like arms and backs and stuff was really cool. I think a lot of that maybe was prosthetic, or at least initially. There was probably a mix of like real and CGI effects.
I would say a mix, yeah, but it looked really good, whatever they did.
But the guy who was the other teacher, who was the already fused man,
Yeah, the neighbor.
Damon Harriman, he was really good. I guess you could see like it was a easily guessed he might be more of an antagonistic character at the end. But that was a cool review. I really liked when Alison Brie punches him in the face and his two faces kind of like split apart and then seal back together. That was really cool looking.
Yeah, that was fun.
But a neat, interesting story. It doesn't feel the need to over-explain itself, like what's happening, which I think was good. It adds to like the horror and like kind of mystery of all of it. You get the really cool cave area with like they fall through like a sinkhole into this cave, but the cave is like this church that is starting to be like absorbed by the ground. Like the pews are halfway out of the cave walls.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I think at one point they're looking around, they see people's faces like fused into it, which I don't quite get if that's related to the togetherness
I
bug
would
or
think
not.
so. Yeah.
Can't wait for the sequel. Let's go. You never know. You never know.
I suppose. I feel like this one had a pretty good ending. Kind of wrapped it up with a bow.
It did. I'm just dreaming though. But no, it was cool. It had its couple jump scares, cool horror elements. It was creepy and weird and interesting story. I like when it gets into weird supernatural, like mythological.
Zeus is real.
Zeus is real. Apparently, I love movies where, based off of what happens, like the supernatural element, it's okay. Well, I guess that's the right religion.
It's never Greek mythology.
It's never Greek
so...
mythology. Hey, give us more of that. Hey, maybe Zeus will show up in the sequel. I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Played by Stellan Skarsgård.
Phenomenal.
Why not? But no, I would give this a rewatch. I give it a thumbs up. This is worth the hype to me. What do you say?
Don't drink the cave water.
Don't drink the cave water. Don't drink any water from puddles if you can help it.
No.
They were in a cave for like 6 hours. They could have just done without.
And they had wine. Like, if they got
Yeah.
really thirsty, just drink that.
He was trying to show off to his Dave Franco was trying to show off to his girl, going, "No, I'm tough and cool. I'm gonna drink from this cave puddle. That will show the world."
If you did that to show me you were tough and cool,
I mean,
I would leave.
take me to the hospital because I probably have parasites now.
Yeah. Yeah, I was very surprised that they didn't go to the hospital after getting out of there because, yeah,
At any
if you
point,
drank cave water, I would take you to the hospital immediately.
after the scene where their arms are fused together, and I think they were doing the muscle relaxers so their bodies would stop fusing together, I guess,
Yeah, so they could kind of,
still maneuver a little bit,
yeah.
saw themselves in half and their arms in half, and at no point are like, we should go to the hospital. No, bandage it up. We're good
No,
to go.
she tried to go to the hospital. She was like, "We just sawed ourselves apart. We're going to the hospital." And he was like, "Oh, fair." But then that didn't happen.
I think at one point he's like, no, that's not going to fix anything. No, it will help. That will help. But as long as you can look past the questionable decisions of some naive main characters, I like this movie.
Yeah, and let's look at the Rotten Tomatoes score.
What is that hype? Give it to me.
This has a 90%.
I like it. I
I'd
like
say
it.
that's worth the hype.
Well
I
earned,
would
yeah.
give that a 90% as well. I love a horror movie, especially when it's inventive and when the acting's really great.
Mm-hmm.
The story was unique. I had a fun
Definitely.
time.
Do you think any makeup or effect nominations are in this movie's future?
Probably not. I would have to go back and look, but I don't think this made any short lists.
Okay, what do you think is holding back this movie? What's keeping this from being Best Picture now?
It didn't make the short lists.
That's fair. That's fair. The Academy doesn't appreciate
The Academy does
quality.
not appreciate horror as much as they should.
Maybe one day.
But
Best Actor, Dave Franco.
Weapons might have a shot at
That's true.
some nominations at least.
I feel like the weirdness vibes of both those movies are kind of similar, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
It does
Yeah.
to me, at least.
So our next movie was The Plague.
Oh, The Plague. You loved this movie.
I loved this movie. My favorite movie is Raw, and this felt like Raw, but for middle school boys.
Yes, it's sort of a coming of age movie, I guess you could say it. It's sort of like about bullying and hazing, I think.
And also, like, kind
Awkwardness.
of puberty.
Yeah.
But then there's this body horror element, and it's just really stylized. And I loved this movie. It was so cool.
It had its like musical inspiration, and there's a bunch of just wildness and dancing, and I think I saw this compared to The Lord of the Flies a little bit, which I get that. I should read that book actually.
I never read Lord of the Flies, so I couldn't tell you.
I've read the synopsis, so I'm going to go with close enough. I can see why putting a bunch of middle school boys together would be the most annoying thing in the world. And they get that pretty right in this movie, I think. Definitely, I think we agree the portrayal of like the plague slash kind of rash that some of the kids were getting were you're at a water polo, I think it was, camp.
Yeah.
You're in a pool all day and then you're sleeping in this whatever community center or YMCA that they were in. So all these kids were filthy and probably had like fungal infections. So that explains. I think it's safe to say there is no actual plague anyone is
yeah.
getting. There's no disease being transferred. It's just
It's
social
literally
stigma.
fungus. And I think there's an element of anyone who's different. Well, we're going to avoid them. We're going to be mean to them. And, you know, that's a thing that kids do and go through. And Joel Edgerton, when he's talking to our main character named Ben, he says that the bullies, specifically the main bully, Jake, they're just scared of people being different.
Yes, which I get that. I think we see a lot of that in this movie.
Yeah, and the kid who has the plague, as they're calling it, Eli, he seems to be maybe like on the spectrum.
Yeah. He
And
just kind of does his own thing.
Yeah.
And it's cool about it, yeah.
And so they're treating him like he has a
He's
disease.
the outcast of this, I don't know, class or group,
Yeah.
team, maybe, training team.
Well, and then they mention that there was another group before
Oh,
them,
that's right, yeah, because some of
and
them were
that,
like veterans of the last group
yeah, and
carried
Eli
over.
was there, Jake was there, and they said that Eli caught the plague from another kid in the past group.
Yeah, just touching them if you don't wash it off quick enough.
Yeah, and then you get the rash, and then you start to like lose your mind essentially.
I liked that pretty much the whole story takes place either like in the pools or like kind of like in this again YMCA slash community center they're in. Kept the focus nice and narrow and tight, and it didn't I guess linger too much in any one place. I liked that.
Yeah, and I thought the lighting and the camera work in the pools
Very good.
was really cool. You had the like synchronized swimmers.
Oh, I loved that. Yeah.
There was one scene where they were practicing the game, I guess. I don't know anything about this sport. But Ben and Jake, they were kind of like fighting. They were getting into it with each other at this point. And the camera would go underwater, and the way that the lighting was at the top of the water, it looked like there was blood in the water because there was red trim in the building
I
on the
like that.
walls.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was so cool. And then it really made it punch when Jake actually did start bleeding.
Absolutely, yes. All the style choices in this movie, I think, really enhance the overall experience.
Yeah, and I loved the music, the score, and the needle drops that they picked were
Absolutely.
great because what this movie was set in like
Early
2003,
2000, like 2003, I think it was.
2005, yeah, somewhere something like that. And I do think the music choices did a good job at putting us in that year.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I did love Joel Edgerton is like the head coach or training coach, something like that, for this water polo camp that
Yeah,
they're at, and
he's
he's
not a good
useless.
supervisor.
No, he is not there. I mean, one, you should not have just one adult, apparently, a one adult for at least probably like a dozen or so young boys running around.
Yeah.
Then you have other classes. You had like the girls' class coming in for synchronized swimming and that kind of stuff. So there's some overlap there. But yeah, all this hazing and bullying, if you had a little bit more adult supervision, probably would have been handled in a little bit more mature manner.
Yeah, because then these kids, they're like sneaking out of the building at night.
Yeah,
They're finding alcohol.
that was wild. These kids are 12.
There was one scene where Ben and Eli are in the sauna, and then an old man walks in, looks at them, and then takes his towel off. And then the
Yeah.
scene just ended. I don't know what was up with that, but I feel like that shouldn't have been allowed to happen with proper supervision.
Hey, 2003, am I right? No, it's like the place they're in, having this training camp is still open to the public, I guess.
Yeah.
But no, in my experience on like, I don't know, field trips or school trips, team sports, you normally have a couple adults watching the group.
Yeah, because I would think Joel Edgerton would be like the coach who teaches them the sport. And then you would have, yeah, a couple of adults who are there as like the
I
chaperones.
don't remember where this story was taking place. Do you remember if they said, like, I guess it doesn't really matter.
I don't remember what they said. I do know that our main character had just moved. Seemed like it was America
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah, our main character, Ben, he's just kind of a fish out of water, trying to find his place, he's kind of doing like, trying to do things and do the same kind of mannerisms and kind of jokes and styles as the main group of boys to try to fit in. And that leads him to start bullying some of the other like outcast kids like Eli, even
Yeah.
though that may not be true to his character or nature.
Yeah, because one of the first scenes, he's talking to the other boys at like lunch, and then Jake stops him and starts kind of making fun of, I mean, he's a kid. I don't know if it's like a speech impediment, but he's having trouble with his T's, which some kids do. He'll grow out of it. But I think there's an element of I don't want to be the othered one,
Yeah,
the one who's bullied. So if they're going to other this person, I'm going to go along with it so that it doesn't roll back on me.
absolutely.
Which does happen when Ben starts being nicer to Eli and like kind of talking with him, befriending him, helping him put on his rash medication, which was a nice thing to do, but that did look like a fungal infection and you probably shouldn't touch it.
Yes. Fungal infection probably combined with just young teenage hormones. They're breaking
Yeah.
out
Yeah, they're
and
starting to get acne.
yeah, losing it over little things. It's just the perfect combination.
Yeah, exactly. And I will say, man, did they do a good job of building tension and framing
Sure.
these characters? Because thinking back to that lunch scene, when Jake stops Ben and is like, oh, you said sop instead of stop, the way almost all the air was sucked out of the room.
It reminded me, honestly, of another movie we watched semi recently, that Joe Pesci scene in it's Goodfellas,
Yeah.
where he's like, "Funny how? Am I funny like a clown?" And it's like an abrupt change to the kind of, I guess, mood of the scene.
Absolutely, this kid was Joe Pesci. The child actors were very good. So was Joel
Absolutely,
Edgerton.
absolutely. Yes, no one gave a bad performance in
Yeah.
this. I was drawn in the whole time.
Which can always be a bit of a gamble with a movie about kids.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, they all did great.
Was this an original screenplay or was this based off of something?
I'm pretty sure it's an original.
Good for them. This was a hell of an idea.
Yeah.
No, I think this is a interesting critique of just, like I said, social stigma and kind of growing up and trying to fit in with a peer group. And definitely like doing things that you normally wouldn't do just to fit in or to try to stand out also.
Yeah.
I think Eli was a really good character. He's our like main kind of plague, I guess, victim, you'd say. He was definitely victimized in this movie, but he's bullied and kind of harassed a lot in the movie, but just sort of sticks to himself and does his own thing. He has that sort of on and off friendship with Ben throughout the movie. Towards the end, I thought they were pretty cool, but then I think in like the last, say, quarter of the film, Ben kind of goes off on Eli and saying like you need to grow up essentially and
Yeah.
stop being weird, I think.
Yeah, I think it's because once all the other kids were like, oh, Ben's got the plague, and, they start bullying him too. Well, he doesn't like that, just like early in the movie. Oh, I don't want the bullying, so I need to redirect it. And then I do think there's a level of care there as well. Because not that he necessarily expresses it in a great way, which kids will do that. What, they're like 12?
Yeah.
But he does tell Eli to grow up and act normal because I do think he likes Eli and he wants to be friends with Eli, but he feels like he can't if Eli isn't conforming. It's almost like, well, I know this is wrong to do socially, wrong in quotes, to do socially. So why don't you understand that? And there's this fear of someone who is just really authentically themselves
Yeah.
and they don't care about what other people think
I
about
get that.
it. So yeah, I do think Ben did eventually blow up on Eli because he wants him to assimilate into the group.
Right.
And then, I think there's bullying going on with, I think Eli seemed to be on the spectrum. And
I just not
that's
for kid,
just
yeah.
kind of low-hanging fruit for these bullies.
Absolutely. The kid playing Jake, now he really nailed it home. This actor did a great job of being the kid bully with the punchable face. No, he did a good job. He was kind of giving it like he could be your best friend or your worst enemy, depending on like if you conformed or not, which I think is a very accurate portrayal. I swear that kid definitely was British, though. I need to look that up. Not that it
Yeah.
matters, but
And then we get that element too of, oh, well, he's doing this because, like Joel Edgerton says, yeah, he is scared. He is insecure. There's one scene where he kind of brushes off, kind of laughs off that his mom is dead.
oh yeah. Yeah, these kids have not great backgrounds as well coming into this, and sometimes put on a show or put on airs to seem like they're not hurting.
Yeah.
No, this, like I said, this is a good sort of a coming of age or slice of life movie for what it's like to be that age and have peers that age trying just to fit in and trying to figure out like who you are as a person. But on the other note, what'd you think of the body horror in this movie?
Oh, I thought it was really good.
Wasn't too much of it, but some.
Yeah. I thought maybe it would be a little more violent than it was.
Yes.
But I do think what we got, it felt so real that, yeah, it did make me squirm a little bit. And I knew it was going to remind me of Raw in one of those early scenes.
It all
It's
comes back to Raw.
just, it does. It's just Ben and he's like squeezing a zit,
Yeah.
but they kind of close up on it. And, that kind of real looking stuff gets to me. He's peeling his finger skin. It reminded me of that scene in
Yeah.
Black Swan.
Exactly. I was about to say. I thought they were going to go all in. And like I said, there's not too much body horror in this. If you're a little squeamish, trigger warning, but it's not too terrible in my opinion. But yeah, as soon as he was picking at his thumb, I'm like, that's going to be something later. And I thought they were going to go all in with like he's looking at his face and seeing like the acne and stuff. I thought he was going to start popping things all over the place. Thankfully, we were spared.
Yeah. I do think holding back on any gratuitous violence, it really made the violent scene at the end with the scissors
Yeah.
really more impactful.
You stay kind of tense or maybe on edge throughout the story because you know that at some point you're like, okay, when is the bullying or something like akin to that going to go too far?
Yeah, when's the shoe gonna drop?
And you get that great payoff at the end of the Eli character. He's finally been pushed over the edge and he's looking at our main character, Ben. And I didn't understand what was happening quite at first. And he's giving this just really dark, really intense stare. And then it pans down, or next scene is he's got the scissors on his finger, which was I like that tie-in.
Yeah.
He had that joke at the beginning, the prank where it looked like he had cut off his finger, but it was just like a ketchup packet and something
Or
like
he
that.
liked to make fake blood.
Fake blood, that was
Yeah.
it. Yeah. But he decided to go all in.
Yeah, because he didn't care what anyone thought of him before, but now he has this friend, and oh, my one friend, the one person I care about, has turned on me. And
I'll
like
show
he doesn't
you.
know how to process that almost.
You ever been so angry you just want to cut off a finger?
Yes.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'd say give this one a watch. It's not too body horror, or I don't know. It's not a straight up horror movie. It's got a more like a creepiness slash tension factor to it, which I liked.
Yeah, this was by far one of my favorite 2025 releases. I thought it was excellent.
I think this movie should be getting more buzz than I think it currently is.
It should be.
It was unique.
Yeah.
Always when you're getting comparisons to Lord of the Flies, it's like, all right, what are we getting out of this?
And our Rotten Tomatoes score 100%.
That's our first hundo, isn't
That's
it?
our first 100. And you know what? I agree. Worth the hype. 100% movie.
All that 100, that's all from you rating it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Loved it.
I am all 79 of these reviews.
So worth the hype.
Worth the hype, 100%.
Absolutely.
This is a 100% movie.
This would be a fun, like, Friday night, pull up some popcorn with your friends, and you want to, like, have a good time watching, seeing what will happen next in this unique kind of intense movie. I like it.
Yeah, I also think it's really relatable because I think everyone has kind of experienced some form
It's relatable, yeah.
social dynamic like that when they're a kid.
Absolutely. No, thumbs up for me. You might be missing some fingers at the end, but I think it was a good time. Give it a watch. It's 100%. You're almost obligated to.
Exactly. The next movie was East of the Wall.
Yes, I liked this movie. What'd you think of it?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was definitely a different topic, and I think even part of the country that we were seeing
Yeah, what
than,
was it, South Dakota, I
yeah,
think?
I think so, than like most movies or shows that I've seen. So I thought it was good. It was interesting.
It's about horse wrangling.
It is about horse wrangling and selling horses and
Yeah, that's the main kind of lens I guess we're seeing everything through. These are ranchers. This gal is taking on way too many essentially orphan teenagers or homeless teenagers to work the ranch, which noble goal, but it seemed that like they were like living beyond their means or had too much of a strain on resources, and that was causing a lot of tension and buildup for our main character.
yeah, her name is Tabitha. And from my understanding, that is also the actor's name.
Yeah,
And I think this movie is kind of based on her experience.
we had a lot of people playing themselves in this, which I thought was neat. I mean, this is
Yeah.
definitely probably a lower budget film, but it was shot very pretty.
Yeah, it was very pretty. And then, like, her daughter in the movie is her daughter in real
Yeah, that
life.
was
And
cool.
I believe she actually does that stuff on TikTok. I'll have to
Nice.
look it up, check it out.
I thought this was a very pretty movie.
Yeah.
Lots of nice shots of the landscapes of the like the Badlands. I think in South Dakota, wherever they were, of the animals, especially the horseback riding. Very impressed with the actual actors jumping up and standing on top of a horse on in saddle or galloping at full tilt or maneuvering around like the barrels and doing their rodeo things. Is it a little exploitation of animals that I don't quite agree with? Yes. Makes for a fun, entertaining movie? Also, yes.
You know what the landscapes really reminded me of, which
What's
maybe
that?
they're set around the same areas. Do you remember the movie we watched last year, National Anthem?
Yeah, I get that. Sort of like, it was like a semi arid, kind of just Great Plains sort
Yeah.
of vibe going on.
Yeah. Yeah, everything very flat, but then there were those really pretty, like kind of mountain, not really mountains, almost like trench like areas.
Yeah, the
That was cool. The
Badlands. Yeah,
Badlands.
that was cool. I liked that. I thought the sort of portrayal of I think they were doing a lot of like auctions for selling horses and stuff and kind of showing that those kind of skills and doing that for a living was interesting. Like I said, I'm a sucker for pretty landscapes and good shots, so this was a good movie for me.
Unlike the landscape movie we watched last week, The Summer Book,
Still wasn't bad,
I
but
was
yes.
not bored by this
No,
one.
no. This was I stayed engaged and entertained throughout. Yeah.
Same. And then we, of course, have Scoot McNairy playing a bad father
Oh
once
yeah, our
again.
resident deadbeat dad. We haven't gone over him yet, but there's so many movies. He's just he loves playing a bad father character.
Yeah, he played a bad father in the Amy Adams Turns Into a Dog
Uh
movie.
huh.
He played a bad father in
Speak no evil.
Speak No Evil.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
terrible. I mean, he's a good actor. Don't get me wrong. What's his name again?
Scoot McNairy.
Scoot McDirty. And
Oh, he was a bad father in that movie with Kit Harington.
oh yeah,
And then I'm assuming he's a bad father here. We don't see him fathering, but he essentially says he was kind of a deadbeat.
I think he said his daughter
And
died.
his daughter, I believe, took her own life.
Yeah, that's actually. I mean, this film has covering suicide as a theme or like a I don't know a tragedy that a lot of these characters had to deal with.
Yeah, because Tabitha's
Husband,
husband,
partner.
partner, the father of her youngest child seems to have killed himself.
Yes, I think these characters come from like an economically depressed kind of area.
Yeah.
Trying to hold on to some of like I guess you could maybe quote unquote the old ways of making a living, like they're auctioning off horses to make money. It's a little different.
Yeah, and then you're seeing the different ways that people process grief because
Yeah.
Tabitha almost doesn't want to talk about it.
She
But
refuses to ride horses for a long time
yeah.
afterwards.
But then her daughter Portia, who this guy was her stepfather, who
Yeah.
she really loved and cared about, she is yearning to talk about him and keep his memory alive and
Process the trauma and grief.
yeah, and really like bring his spirit into her horse riding and what she's doing. And there's that pain there that you can see because that upsets her mom because she's processing her grief in a different way.
Yeah, I think it was a very, I don't know, real portrayal of maybe families who are struggling to get by and dealing with a lot of stuff and just trying to remain themselves. I think when Scoot McDurdy shows up trying to buy out the ranch, there's some resistance to it, or hey, we need this money. It's kind of a needs versus wants theme going on. Ranching looks like not the most fun job, in my opinion, but I can understand why people love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I thought it showed how inventive she was, kind of using social media and TikTok
Yeah, they
as
were selling horses via TikTok,
yeah.
essentially. No, it was neat. I like that this is kind of a reflection of these characters or these people's real experiences and how their lives have actually gone. It's taken a lot of influence from real world things. I liked it. I would watch this again. It was a good time. I think all the actors were super talented for their. I think it was their very few stunt doubles, like real portrayal, of, like riding horses and working on ranches and doing a lot of dangerous looking stuff.
Yeah.
No one was wearing helmets, man. That was bugging me. The safety gear was lacking, but hey, riding horses, what can you do?
These are professionals.
I guess so. Better than me, at least. But I like this. I'd give this a thumbs up. I'm going to give, man, coming off of 100%. Let's see. I'm going to guess. I don't know. Maybe other people didn't like this. This has an 82%. How close was I?
This has a 95%,
I'm off. Okay, good. Good.
which is nice because I remember after we watched the movie, I of course go look at the letterbox reviews. People were not happy, and I think they weren't happy because this was one of those AMC surprise movies.
Yeah.
So I guess they just didn't know what they were getting into, but
And that's where you just go into a random movie and you don't know what's going to be
yeah.
playing, right? Okay.
So they probably thought they were going to get some like horror movie or
Maybe.
popcorn movie, and then it was kind of this more slow burn view on grief and family and stuff. But
Yeah.
I still wouldn't, even if I went into a movie like this and it wasn't what I was expecting, I still wouldn't be able to walk away and say that's a bad movie.
No,
It
it's
wasn't
very
a bad
enjoyable.
movie. It was very well made.
I guess if you're looking for an action movie, this might not be your cup of tea, but otherwise, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, thumbs up. This is worth the hype.
Yeah.
Ignore the haters. Go see the horses.
Yeah, just know when you're
Horses
going
instead of
in.
haters. We'll have our first podcast merch.
Yeah. Yeah, just going in, no, it's not some fast-paced, action-packed movie,
This
but
is a story about family.
yeah, that's
essentially.
not what it's supposed to be. That wouldn't serve the themes.
I agree. No, worth the hype. Check it out. What's next?
Next, we watched Peter Hujar's Day, which I'd never heard of this man.
Neither did I know.
He was an artist and photographer.
And let me make sure I had this right, because this kind of got lost in this movie a little bit about what was going on, but I think that's kind of the point. This is a gal who's doing sort of like a project to get with her artist friends, and they kind of recount their prior day just in minute detail. Yes.
Yes, and from the little scroll at the beginning, it seems like these transcripts had been lost for a long
Yeah,
time.
she like recorded the conversations; those were lost, but the transcript was saved, and in archives for decades.
Yeah, and so they found it, and then the filmmaker Ira Sachs, who also did Passages, which I
Okay.
liked Passages.
Ben Whishaw. Okay.
But anyway, so I knew the director going in, and I figured this would be enjoyable based on that. And also, the lead, Ben Whishaw, love Ben
Just
Whishaw.
can't seem to miss.
I've said before, Ben Whishaw could read the phone book, and I would be enthralled, and that's very true. He was essentially reading a transcript and I was in, you know?
I first saw Ben Whishaw he's playing Q in one of the Daniel Craig James Bond movies. Not the first one, maybe the second one. And from there on out, didn't think much of him at first other than he was good in his role. Dude cannot seem to miss. He's knocking it out of the park every role he's in. He's in Black Doves right now too that we're watching. That's a great show. He ends up being the person I want to focus on the most.
Yeah.
Which I mean, we get him monologuing the entire time in this movie, and long takes too.
I first saw him in A Very English Scandal, which he won an Emmy for, and he was brilliant in that.
Yeah.
And then I remember seeing that new Mary Poppins in the movie theater, and he
Okay,
played
never
the
seen
dad.
Okay.
And I thought he was the most impactful, like emotional performance for me in that movie. I was like crying in the theater at his little song.
He's not like a big dude, but he has like this presence.
Yes.
You know, I guess it's called acting, but he's got it down.
He has the it
He
factor.
has the it factor. He can definitely memorize all these speeches.
Yeah, this is a pro Ben Whishaw household.
But really, it's just this dude talking about his day, which seems utterly chaotic to me. His schedule that he was keeping. If that many people called me throughout the day, I would be upset.
Yeah, and then we also get to learn that he doesn't really take much care of himself. He's
No,
not
not really.
eating well, he's not sleeping well because he's so focused on these artistic endeavors.
This interview that we're kind of seeing recreated takes place over, I think, like just over an entire day.
I
more or
think
less.
so.
It's not like just a couple hours, I think, because we go from like sun's up to like dusk to nighttime.
Yeah.
When they're talking back and forth. But he is smoking cigarettes like a chimney the entire time.
Yeah, to a point where his friend who's interviewing him says, "I'm worried about you. You smoke so much."
He's going on saying, "I've got a cigarette hangover."
Yeah, and what was this, the 70s or the
I think
80s?
this was the 70s.
For someone in the 70s to
everyone was
say,
smoking.
"You smoke so much that I'm worried about you," like that man was smoking a lot.
At the end of the movie where he's going, "I don't know, my stomach kind of hurts." Like, yeah, you've eaten nothing but cigarettes, like 30 cigarettes today.
Cigarettes and like processed meat.
Yeah. Marlboros and Spam, that's my diet. No, this was, I'll admit, I did get bored in some segments because this guy is literally just talking about his day in detail, and that helps you learn about Ben Wishaw's character as well. You don't get too much backstory on the gal interviewing him other than just their back and forth banter, I guess. They've known each other for a while, I suppose.
Yeah.
This seems to be, what was this, in New York City?
Yeah.
Just like a kind of insight into an artistic movement in New York City in the early 70s, which is, I mean, it was interesting to learn about.
I did think it was really fun him talking about his meeting with the author who wrote the book that Queer was based on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, some historical tie-ins here.
Really gave me a lot of context to that man.
Definitely a unique friend group this guy kept.
Yeah.
He was a photographer.
Photographer, and it
trade?
seemed like he was talking about
Doing a few different
doing some
things.
like painting and stuff
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So an
I thought that was
artist.
cool.
Yeah.
Like I said, very unique lifestyle, and I mean how this guy remembers everything he does throughout the day. I could not do the same.
I did appreciate that this movie, it didn't outstay its welcome. It was like an hour and 15 minutes
Yeah,
long.
not too long at all.
So I think, yeah, it was the perfect length. Which I guess they were just trying to go through that whole transcript. So
Yeah, I guess it worked pretty well. I'm someone who I really enjoy a movie that has, even if it's dialogue heavy, as long as it's good, I will stay engaged. So since it is just this guy kind of recounting his day, like I said, I did get sort of bored or lose the thread of things here or there, but overall, I think it was a pretty enjoyable experience.
I would have loved to go see this as a play.
Yes, it would have been worked very well as a play. I know. I think, I mean, if you're looking for anything with much action at all, this probably wouldn't be a movie for you.
If you're a Ben Wishaw stan like I am,
You're good. Movie of the year.
movie of the year.
I know. I'd give this like definitely a thumbs up. This was like a 7 out of 10 for me. You know,
I would put
not
it
my
there as
favorite
well.
movie that we watched this week.
I think I gave it 3.5 stars on
Yeah,
Letterboxd. Yeah.
we go through so many different scoring. We got 7 out of 10. What percentage? Sometimes I'll just say yeah, thumbs up.
It's just whatever strikes you in the moment.
Yes, exactly.
But this has a 91% on Rotten
We
Tomatoes.
got some high scores this week. I like it.
I feel like a lot of people, especially reviewers of this movie, probably appreciate the almost historical aspect of this
Yeah,
because
it's a true story.
this movie really is preserving a piece of history
It
that
is.
was lost, you know?
Interesting. Yeah, I had fun with this one. I thought it was super impressive. I'm trying to appreciate like what these actors are actually doing
Yeah.
more in productions. Just the memorization, and I don't know the rehearsing that would have to go into doing these very long takes of nothing but dialogue. I was much impressed.
Yes, I was impressed as well. 91%. Yeah,
Not
like
that
you
high.
said, I would probably put it at maybe like an 85-ish, but
Slap that hype on there. It's worth
I
it.
would say worth the hype, yeah. Yes, we have one more, and that movie was Lurker.
Lurker.
I really enjoyed Lurker too. You know me, I love a weird movie, I love a creepy movie, I love a dark movie. Now, I will say, I thought this movie was going to be a lot more unhinged than it was, but this almost felt more realistic, and
Yeah.
that kind of made it feel creepier and dirtier.
It didn't go too over the top at any point. This movie is sort of about, I guess, influencers and social media on a larger scale, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah, because this guy,
And being a musician and
yeah, this guy's a musician, the guy from Saltburn. The musician's name is Oliver, no last name, just Oliver.
yep.
And then you have this guy who he meets at a clothing store.
Yeah, our lurker is working at this like clothing store. I think that maybe like celebrities will shop there a lot of times. Or it's like
Yeah.
a quote unquote for you kids hip place to go to, and he immediately sees this artist. I like the indication that our lurker guy is already obsessed with Oliver because he immediately sees him come into the store and he's like, oh, I know Oliver likes this song. I'm gonna go to the music system, whatever, and start playing that to get his attention.
Yes, and our lurker's name is Matthew.
Matthew, that's right.
And he's played by the guy from On Becoming a God in Central Florida.
I'm just gonna be calling him Lurker during this review.
And yes, I loved that as well, that it's abundantly clear he's doing all of this on purpose. And then,
He's a manipulator just with no remorse.
yes, and then his friend who works there as well, Jamie, he's approaching Oliver as like a fan and, oh, I love your music. It means so much to me. Like, I just wanted to tell you that. And Oliver's very nice to him. And then Matthew kind of plays it as more blasé. Oh, I've never heard your music.
Yeah.
I don't listen to a lot of new stuff.
He's trying to play it cool and coming off as awkward a lot of the times, but then he always takes it way too far.
Yeah, but then this first encounter, it works because
does, yeah.
Oliver's like,
He has his charm.
oh, well, if you like this old song that you're playing over the speakers right now, then you'll like my stuff. So come to my show tonight.
Yeah, yeah.
And he gets backstage. He's in the green room. And I did like how 1 second Oliver would be very nice and social with someone, but then in the next scene, he's a famous person. So this normie walks in. Well, he's talking to a billion different people every day and doing all this stuff. He kind of doesn't even register Matthew as being there. He's like,
Yeah,
oh
not
yeah, I
really.
remember inviting you, but he's not being super buddy with him. And then, Zach Fox, the guy from Abbott Elementary, he's one of the posse.
Yeah.
And he kind of starts playing with Matthew a little bit. He's like, take off your pants
Yeah.
for like what, gay Jim or something?
That for their dead homie gay Jim, Lurker walks into, I guess, like the backstage sort of hangout area, and they're like, take off your pants. Done.
Which, if you ever go to a green room of famous people and they tell you to take off your pants, you need to run.
Honestly, from what we hear from blind items especially, that's business as usual.
But
Nothing weird here.
our lurker, he's awkward. He doesn't know if they're joking or not
first.
because they keep playing with him. And then he's like, you know what? I know what'll make them like me.
Taking it too far.
Just takes off his underwear too, flashes all of them,
These are all strangers too. He does not know these people.
which they all think it's cool.
They think it's funny. These guys are, everyone's like,
They're like
maybe-
frat bros.
Yeah, they're just out of college, maybe.
Yeah.
Like early 20s, something like that. So a lot of what I would say kind of more kiddish behavior.
Yeah, it's these immature frat bros who have just come into money.
Yes.
And that's how they're acting. Money and fame.
Zero real adult supervision for these kids. And they're able to get away with a lot.
Yeah.
And I think Lurker is just kind of living with his grandma, I think.
Yes.
He seems to like not have many things going for him. He's trying to find his way. All very typical for a young adult. He just has his obsession or his focus on hyperfixation. That's it on Ollie, and he's a jealous type.
Yeah.
Lurker is jealous.
And Oliver doesn't really notice how kind of weird and obsessive he is, but
at first.
the other friends are clocking it.
Yes.
But yeah, our lurker, it's like he's researched everything he's going to do and say.
He has a plan.
He weasels his way into being almost this guy's videographer.
Yeah. Pretty quickly, he's showing like I can do your music videos and help
Yeah.
you make your songs, things like that.
Yeah, because he was essentially like the intern for the documentarian, and then he sabotaged the camera batteries so that he could be the one to film.
He's sneaky. He's like, he starts out as like the intern groupie.
Yeah.
But
He's washing dishes.
Yeah, he makes his way from like cleaning up the house to I'm your creative partner with Oliver.
Yeah, and I really
Represent
liked there was a needle drop while he was like washing dishes and doing the laundry. It was this I'm Your Puppet song.
Yeah.
And then that song pops up later
Oh, it was good.
and it's kind of flipped, and I really thought that was cool.
Now, no one in this movie is like the good guy.
No.
I would say. Maybe Shy, the one gal groupie who was hanging out with these guys for some reason. She was braver
Yeah.
than I would be.
Oh yeah, to be the one woman
most
in
moral
this
compass, I
group
think.
would be hell.
I think so. God, that would smell too.
Yeah.
But no, Lurker gets some blackmail on good old Ollie, who has been, let's say, messing around with some fans who are much, much too young.
Well, because
Underage, one might even say.
our lurker, while they're in London, he sabotages his friend Jamie.
Yeah, who worked at him at the like same clothing job where they started out.
Yeah, because this guy's jealous. Even if someone's specialty or expertise is different from his, because he's a videographer, and Jamie kind of comes in because they like that he makes cool clothes.
Yes, yeah, that's right. He makes these like customized sweaters that they're
Yeah.
using for like the album cover.
And it's like, dude, those are two completely different things. There's
Yeah.
room for both of you, but he can't handle it. He sabotages Jamie at customs.
Hmm.
And then when that doesn't work, he literally knocks him off a ladder. And that's when everyone is like,
Oh, this
oh.
guy's crazy.
Yeah, so then when he gets back to America, they want nothing to do with him.
Hmm.
And that is when he sabotages Oliver by getting the blackmail, where it seemed like he drugged someone. I don't know if he drugged Oliver or the underage girls, but he definitely met the underage girls at
Yeah.
his job at the clothing store and brought them there on purpose.
Hmm.
And I will say, even though Lurker was blackmailing,
He set it up, but he didn't make
yeah,
anyone do
he
anything.
didn't force anyone to do anything inappropriate with underage girls.
So
I know he drugged someone.
I think the underage girls, honestly,
I think
because
he did too.
he smashed up some pills and put it into a bottle of like vodka or something, and they were drinking it at least at some point.
Yeah, if anything, he was participating in getting these girls like blackout
Hmm.
so that something inappropriate could happen to them. So yeah, Oliver, he could have prevented this if he had just not hooked up with underage girls.
But he is like he wants to be the center of attention, and I kind of got this throughout. It's like he has his own little cult following him around. He has this constant rotation of like new best friends or new person in his group or his group of fans, or they're not really his friends. They're his like
Yeah.
workers and helpers if he's even paying them. That he's focusing on for little bits of a time, and he plays them off one another almost to keep them vying for his attention.
Yeah, because he talks about having had not the greatest home life
Yeah.
and how one of his favorite parts of being famous is being able to curate whatever family he wants, and
Oh
then
yeah.
if I don't want someone in the family, I get to decide if they're in or out. And then our lurker has a really interesting conversation with Oliver as well about, well, you surround yourself with yes men.
Mm-hmm.
Your
He
work
does.
isn't going to be as good. I'm the valuable person to you because I'm going to tell it to you straight, tell it like it is.
I'm the one who will take it way too far and make it uncomfortable for you.
And I think Oliver is actually really receptive to that because
Yeah.
I think by the end of the movie, they're both enmeshed with each other.
Yeah, they were like, we know our creative partnership is very fruitful, but we hate each other. Or Oliver hates Lurker, but they're like, I think he's nominated for a Grammy at this point.
It's like by this point, he understands what value that Matthew brings to him because it is that I'm not a yes man. And no one else does that for him.
I get that. Yeah, it's an interesting take. It's probably very realistic for
Yeah,
what happens in like a lot of Hollywood sort of situations or musical
I'm sure.
collaborations, maybe something like that.
Yeah. And then by the end of the movie, you just feel kind of like,
Kind of
ugh.
grossed out a little bit. No one's having a good time, but they're all like rich and famous now.
Yeah.
Very on par, I think.
Yeah.
I got the sense, like I said, that was sort of like a little cult like following in the movie, but now that we talk about it out loud, yeah, Oliver's talking about his making his own new family. He's playing people off of each other constantly and playing favorites. He's having sex with underage girls. He's a cult leader.
Yeah.
Now, that is not to say this is an entertaining movie.
Oh, I really enjoyed this
I
movie.
like it. It's stylish, but it has a good story to it, great acting, and it's
I like the music.
great music in it too. Yeah, it's got comedy and great visuals and awkwardness and just frustration and some apprehension, and it's a good like portrayal of here's how friend groups or fixations can become so toxic very quickly.
Both of these guys should be nominated at the Oscars, but it's not going to happen.
Hey, maybe one day it could be a surprise hit for all we know.
I
But
don't think this year, not this movie. I don't think the Oscars have this on their radar, unfortunately.
my favorite scene by far was this movie has plenty of great scenes. My favorite was when Ollie and Lurker are on the road and they bring two girls back to their hotel room, and as they're getting with their girls, they Oliver I think looks over at Lurker, who's just got a big old smile on his face, just staring at Ollie as his like fixation. That was really funny. He had the nice crazy smile on his face.
Yeah.
Loved it. That
He
made me
played
laugh.
crazy very well.
Made me laugh. No, this was good. This movie has a lot going for it. The story's very interesting.
I don't
Give it a shot.
I'd honestly watch this again
Yeah.
to see what else I'd pick up because I do think this is one of those movies that I would pick up something new every
Yeah.
time I watched
There's
it.
a lot of like sabotaging in this movie, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, and there's a lot of themes going, I
Mm-hmm.
think.
Good music, good style, and it's like a interesting portrayal of like sort of the up and coming musician or influencer sort of lifestyle.
Yeah, like you
The
said, I'm sure this level of manipulation happens all the
I
time to
wouldn't be
these up and
shocked.
comers.
I hope not. That's horrifying if it does, but the pessimistic side of me says that probably is not
Yeah.
uncommon.
Because I kept waiting for him to kill someone, but
No.
honestly, this is more realistic.
I was waiting for him to cut his own finger off at one point, but no, no. I think this was cool. A cool movie, a cool concept, something themes and kind of issues. I think we should see more of in media covered, which I would like to see. But thumbs up for me. What was our score?
Yeah, the Rotten Tomatoes score was a 95%.
This is a week of high scores. We're
Yeah,
the
I
first
think
hundo and all this.
that's well worth the hype.
Absolutely. I had fun with this. I had fun with all these movies. Watch them all in a
Same.
row. Watch them all on the same day. You're in for a ride.
Yeah, these were all really good movies. There wasn't a single one that I didn't enjoy.
I agree. I agree. What was your favorite movie? Well, The Plague was your
The
favorite movie
Plague,
this batch, wasn't
obviously.
it?
Yeah.
What was my favorite? I honestly, I think the horse movie was my favorite because the animals are pretty. I got a soft spot for critters. It was pretty landscapes, and I love that portrayal, especially like the overhead drone shots of like the Badlands was really cool. That was probably my favorite, just kind of from that combination of things.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't even say I had a least favorite this week. They were all good.
Yes, I think we've done it.
We have done it. We've gone over all the movies that we watched this week.
Another week, starting the year strong. Keep this momentum going. We're doing good.
Yeah.
We're getting into award season too.
I love award season. The Critics' Choice Awards were yesterday.
Just happened. So I think we got some good early indicators of how the season will go, but we
Yeah.
got some big movies to review pre-Oscars.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've still got to catch up on some of the bigger ones.
I guess we'll update you next time. We got a busy year ahead of us.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.